Hello and welcome back to Brentford TV. I'm Ben.
And I'm Freddie, and this is our post-match thoughts on our away win at Crystal Palace. And so, it's our second away win of the season, 2 away wins in a row. And so, what are your thoughts on the game? Just immediate or initial?
Yeah, I thought great to get a result. Because, we haven't, before this, we'd only won one away and it was Southampton. But, I thought, going on to the first half, I thought not much really happened.
It was quite an uneventful first half, quite an uneventful game, but I thought we had more quality, and we did throughout the entire game make a few more attacks, have better finishing, and it led on to a deserved win in my opinion. And so going into the game, when the lineups come out, I think there's two main things that we're all looking at. And it's the absence of Rico Henry from the starting 11. And I thought this might be Rico Henry's first game back where he'll be in the starting 11. Because he's been back on the bench for the last 2-3 games from his injury. But he's just missing, wasn't he?
Yeah, and has it been confirmed yet whether it's an injury or just
I don't
missing out?
I don't know.
Because I hope it's not. He's been injured further and will be out for even longer. Because we do need fullbacks. We really need fullbacks now. And
I mean, we've just loaned one off to Wolfsburg. And so, I think I heard from someone it's hamstring related, so that's what he just came back from. So I really don't know. It's so frustrating that Rico Henry, in my opinion, he was becoming one of the best left backs in England, and he'd have been in the England team. He'd have definitely started in the Euros, in my opinion. He was just so unfortunate to have had that ACL injury, and since he got that ACL injury, it's been a terrible journey for him, such a long journey. Took him a year to get back, and just when he was back on grass he got the hamstring injury, and he seems to have reignited this hamstring injury, and so we seem so unlucky.
Because I was so excited to finally have Rico Henry back. He played the Plymouth game and then a bit of the City game, and I was just really excited to see him on the pitch, and then we haven't seen him since.
Moving on from Rico Henry. But then Aya was actually back in the team, which is a huge boost because
good news.
Before we started experimenting with Keenan Posh at left back, we were playing Aya at left back, and so Aya's a great versatile player to have, where we can play in centre back, right back, or left back. Of course, he's more adept to centre back or right back, but it'll be great to have him back in the lineup. He could probably start in our next game. There's a possibility, but at least we have a defender back when we just lost one. But moving on to the game, as we said before, it was sort of an uneventful first half. Not much happened. I thought we had a bit more quality than them, but then that showed in the second half as we pushed on and we got the penalty.
Yes, and the penalty was kind of a straightforward decision. Was it Collins? Yeah. Collins was brought down in the box from Lacroix, who received a yellow for that. But also there could have been a penalty beforehand, as I don't know his name, one of the Crystal Palace midfielders handballed it in the box. But that was from a clearance.
I think we could have had that penalty from the handball. I think it might have been on Gehi, but I'm not sure. But then the Collins one, there's not much contact, but it's the letter of the law. He's missed the ball, he's made the contact with Collins. And so Mbeumo,
previous 100% record.
I think it was 8 out of 8 for Brentford.
All expecting him to score it.
On his 9th penalty, he hits the post. It was on the inside of the post because it came back towards him. And so it was so close to being a perfect penalty. I think he scored a few penalties where it's been posted in, but unfortunately he missed it. But we were saved by Gehi, because Gehi's entire body was inside the D of the box, and so then when Gehi then made the interception, it meant it got to be retaken. Which
is partially lucky, but also I think if Gehi hadn't encroached in the penalty area and been the first player to take the rebound, Brian Mbeumo would have scored that rebound, because all he had to do was slide at the right hand side, because the keeper had already dived left. and it would have been a goal. But luckily, he got to retake it, and this time, being in the keeper's head, he kicked it to the right, simple penalty, and we got the goal from there.
I think he probably waited for Dean Henderson to make his move. I think maybe Dean Henderson went a bit early, but it was one of those where he didn't have to put it far to the right. It was just the other way to where Dean Henderson went. And what seemed to have really made the news was Wissa's celebration before Mbeumo even scored.
Yeah.
But we've seen players celebrate before a penalty goes in. We've seen managers not even watch and just presume it's going to go in. I think Klopp did it once for a Salah penalty, and then he didn't score.
Oh.
But for this one, it's a bit different because Mbeumo, he's still 2 or 3 steps away from the ball, and Wissa's running off to the away and celebrating.
And yeah, you can even see some angles Lewis Potter doing a similar thing.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It's a lot of faith in Brian on the retake, especially to slot it away, to be celebrating that early. But I've seen lots of people saying it's also a distraction method.
Yeah.
Because maybe Dean Henderson in his peripheral might notice Wissa running off celebrating, and that could put him off maybe. But I don't think that's going to be the main focus of Henderson. He's going to be looking at the ball and Mbeumo where to dive. But
yeah, I don't think a professional keeper in the Premier League is being distracted by a player running off in the background celebrating.
Yeah, well, it depends on the celebration.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we were a bit lucky that Mbeumo he got to retake. And I think it goes down as still having the 9 out of 9 100% record.
Which is great for Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah. And then in the game, Palace, they tried to get back into it, but they really didn't have anything. And then in the 80th minute, or 81st minute, Sharda gets the header. And it's a great header, and he makes it 2-0.
It's really good. It was a cross from Damsgaard off his left foot, which is great. Damsgaard's great as always. And then a very clean header from Kevin Sharda. Nothing Henderson seemed to be able to do about it. Unfortunately, there was a clash of heads after Sharda didn't celebrate at all because he hit his eye on the defender's head.
I thought he hit his nose.
Yeah, I thought it hit the ball that he'd mishit the header in the first place, but upon seeing replays, there's a clear clash of heads.
Yeah. Well, I thought at first he headed the ball with his nose or face, and so he hurt himself that way. But on the replay, he headed, I think, his nose into Richard's head, and so it's a goal, but it's a painful one. So everyone's celebrating, and he's just like holding his face in pain. But you know what? I'm really happy with Kevin Sharda's turnaround in form this season.
Yeah.
Because it's not incredible. It's not like Mbeumo Wissa levels. But it's so much better than what we've seen in the past.
Sorry, the hair's in my eyes.
Right. It's so much better than what we've seen in the past. I think in a video at some point I said Sharda's going to have a good season. Because I think he had a decent pre-season for us.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really happy to see Sharda having this improvement in form. He had the Leicester hat-trick, the Southampton goal, and today. And so I think he's so much better when we play him out on the left wing, though, because there's been games where, say, when Wissa was injured, we played Sharda up front a lot, and when he's that solo striker, I think it's too much for him. He can't. It's too much pressure. His 1v1 ability, especially then, wasn't that good because of maybe the pressure of being a striker, and he wasn't so confident then.
Yeah. But, example I could think, in the Wolves game he was playing a striker earlier this season, and he had a couple 1v1s through on goal, and he just shot it at the keeper. So I think it is the pressure, because a few games later he was playing on his natural left wing position, and he scored a goal exactly like it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely mentality, but Sharda had been in the news a lot in the last sort of week to 2 weeks because Dortmund were considering buying him. Of course, it was Napoli were looking to buy Adeyemi from Dortmund for around 50 to 60 million, and if that were to go through, Dortmund would have invested that exact 50 to 60 million into Kevin Sharda. And now, of course, we know that Adeyemi's staying at Dortmund, so Sharda will be staying with us. But it's a lot of money, isn't it? 50
Yeah.
to 60 million for Kevin Schade.
Well, at least that's what we're asking for. From what I saw, Dortmund looked to try and get him for around 40, but
I mean,
still.
I think even if it's 45 million, that's still a 20 million turnover on a player in 2 years. And in that first year, he had some okay performances, but he didn't have that many good performances. He was injured a lot of the time, and so just in this season alone, he's managed to increase his value by around 20 million, which is impressive, and it's good to see because obviously Brentford's recruitment has been praised so much over the years, but since we've joined the Premier League, people have said, oh, they've fallen off. But like, you're looking at players like Damsgaard, Flecken, Collins, now Schade, even Wissa. It takes a season or two for them to get to their best in the Premier League for us, it seems.
It does seem like that.
Who have we signed this year? Carvalho. He'll be world class in 2 years.
Yeah.
So just stay with us, Carvalho. Be patient.
And I do think he wants to stay. There were those comments from his father. I think his father's unhappy with his game time, but from what I've seen and heard, Carvalho seems happy with his spot at Brentford.
I don't think he's that happy.
Oh.
In terms of because he has hardly played recently.
Yeah.
How often has he been an unused sub? Most games.
Yeah.
He's an unused sub because, in my opinion, he doesn't really fit into our system because we sort of play with a 6 and 2 8s. He's not really an 8, but then we don't really play with a cam. But he's not really a winger, so he doesn't fit in there. He's not a striker, and so I think Thomas Frank does struggle to fit him into how we set up. I'm sure it'll adapt over time. We'll find a way. Maybe the system will change and it'll work for him.
Yeah.
But
to be honest, I'm trying to think of where I heard that information.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, if you think like a youngster like Yarmouk, he gets subbed on against Crystal Palace away over someone like Carvalho, and you'd think Carvalho is a far better player. He got 10 plus goals in the Championship last season. We signed him for like 30 million. No, it's like 25 million.
Yeah.
You'd think Carvalho would be the straight away first choice sub at least, but he stays on the bench and Yarmouk comes on. And so
I do feel like that's somewhat to do with, like, Damsgaard seems to be more of that attacking midfielder, build up and like passing forward, and I feel like Carvalho would play a similar role, but it seems to be always someone else in the midfield being subbed off, and I feel like Yarmouk fits other roles in the midfield better.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it anyway.
Well, I don't know. Well, he's hardly played, and so he probably isn't that happy, is what I'd say. Because, you know, when he joined us, in the interviews, or like he's always said, I want to start, I want to be playing regular Premier League football. He's playing anything but regular Premier League football.
Yeah.
And so, but hopefully over time he'll become a good player. Anyway, back to the Palace game.
Yes.
Later in the game, finally after us going 2-0 up, Crystal Palace finally turned up, and they had a few attacks.
Yes, they had put the pressure on quite a lot.
And Issa, their new signing, on his first touch in his first minute, got a goal for them.
Yeah.
And fair play to him. I found it quite funny because he went and celebrated for like 15-20 seconds by himself. Everyone else has run back into their own half to get the game started again, and he's still there celebrating until like one of the Palace players goes over and drags him back. And so
you're gonna want to celebrate your first goal at your new club, especially when it's in the Premier League. So I understand that.
Yeah, but to be honest, I thought we were going to do a classic Brentford.
Yeah, I thought the same.
We're going to throw away a lead, what should be an easy lead, to hold on to 2-0, but thankfully we held on, and we got the 2-1 win. And so I feel like we almost can never go a video without mentioning him, but Mikkel Damsgaard.
Yes.
What a baller he is.
What a player.
I mean, he got the assist, but his general play around. I remember in the first half there was a situation, he had 3 players around him, he dribbled through all 3 in like 1 or 2 moves, then he nutmegged the 4th one, and then he cut it back, and then it was still, there was only Wissa in the box and he was surrounded by so many players, but he still managed to find Wissa on his left foot while like off balance, and so he's really proving himself why he got that new contract. And I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. He's starting week in, week out, getting goal contributions left, right and centre, being the key build-up of our team as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great play, what he does.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that he's doing so well this year, because if he didn't, and it was still Norgard, Janelt, Jensen, that would be our championship. That's our championship midfield from the 2 years that it took us to get promoted.
Yeah.
That would be like 6 years in a row of the same midfield that all came from the championship. And so thankfully, after all of these years, we finally got a midfielder breaking into it. And he's been so vital for us. He's on now, I think, 2 goals, 8 or 9 assists.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been so important for us. But fair play to him.
Yeah. And some more players that have actually become really good, and actually now I would say are our best 2 centre-backs, with Collins and Van den Berg. They've
100%.
been solid every game they've played together. And like, in the last 3 games only conceded 5 in 3 games, which...
That's low for Brentford.
Yeah, low for us. And it is not bad considering we played City and Liverpool in 2 of those games.
Yeah. I mean, they've been so good. Obviously, Collins has been brilliant this season. He's up there for player of the season. But Van den Berg, since we've moved him from right back to centre back, he's proved so many people wrong.
Yeah.
Because he got a bit of stick when he was at right back. People said he wasn't doing good enough, this and that. I always thought he was alright, he was solid.
Yeah, he did what he needed to.
But he's been incredible at centre back. Since he's been at centre back, we've got 2 away wins, which we hadn't done all season. We've drawn to City at home. We've lost to Liverpool at home, but we held them out for 90 minutes. Yeah. And all of those games, it's been a defensive partnership of Collins, Van den Berg. And so really, I'm just so happy that he's getting the game time. He's playing really well. And it's really important that he's playing so well, because before Pinnock got injured, Pinnock wasn't playing that well.
No, he wasn't. It's very strange, because this season he hadn't... Like, every other season he's played, he's been incredible, our best centre-back. But then this season, he just didn't seem to bring that same level to his game.
Yeah, it's a shame, but then again, if we've got 24 or whatever year old, maybe 22, but a young centre-back in Van den Berg, such a young centre-back partnership.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do this well for us, we're sorted. We're sorted for years.
Yeah.
And so...
We really are. Unless big clubs with money want to take them off.
Well, at least we've made profit then.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's whatever will keep us in the Premier League and hopefully push for a cup or Europe one day. But honestly, I just wanted to praise them because they've been so good for us. And so staying on the defence, I think it's important that we shout out Mads Roslev, because so many Brentford fans have given him stick this season and at his time at Brentford.
Yeah, and it's a shame some of the fans have done that, and it's ended his time with Brentford on not the best of notes, but still, he's been incredible for us, done exactly what we've asked of him. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame now to see him go. Yeah,
I think lots of people talk about that Fulham away game where people criticised him for their second goal, I think. But since then, and in general for his 5 years with us, I think he's been brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but he's done the job, because we know how bad our injuries are. How many Brentford players can we say are always fit? It's Janelt and it's Roslev. Yeah. They're the 2 which are always fit. They've never been injured that I can think of. And so you can say he's not good enough. There's no hiding that he's probably our second or third choice right back.
Yeah.
He'd be behind Hickey and probably Ayer. Maybe even Van den Berg, if we played Van den Berg at right back. But he's always fit, he's always available, he's always got good work rates. He bombs up and down that right hand side. He gets a lot of crosses into the box when we're on it. And so, honestly, he's now gone loan at Wolfsburg, they have the option to sign him. If that's his last game in a Brentford shirt, I think it could have been better.
And then it seems like we're talking about something like this every week, but one bad thing about the game was Norgard is now injured.
Yep.
And it's just annoying because it seems like every time we played without Norgard, we've been a different team. We've not done as well. Like a perfect example of this is the Plymouth game where we lost 1-0 because we didn't have Norgard playing in the midfield, and I think, yeah, he's a really key player that we're gonna miss. And let's hope his injury isn't too long.
Yeah, you're right. We're a completely different team with and without Norgard. For example, Plymouth, Newcastle in the Cup, or whenever he's injured. And so he's so important to us. I hope the injury's not bad. I think it's really important that we sign him down for another year because he's in the last year of his contract. He could leave us in the summer and we'll be left with a huge hole in the middle of our team, our captain, and we'll be saying, so how do we stay in the Premier League without him?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. There's always a sour note. We can't have a good result without getting an injury. But yeah,
I don't know how much longer this can go on.
But yeah, I think that's all for the post-match reaction to the Crystal Palace away win.
See you in the next one.